we've seen, obviously, you guys have had some defensive struggles of late. Is there anything you can pinpoint as to what's causing it? It doesn't seem the same issue game in and game out. Is it just effort, or is it, attention to detail, or what can you point to?
Maybe a little bit of everything, right? We need more committed defenders, more reliable defenders. You know, we just don't have a defensive DNA right now from anybody. So something that we have to.
Did have that, if you reflect on earlier this season, non-conference, what have you.
We've done it. Right, that's been our issue. We haven't been consistently good on the defensive end.
I know a lot of people will point to the lack of size on the interior, but it doesn't seem like that's a main cause of it. Is it the perimeter defense especially lacking because, you kind of have to pick it up out there when you don't have that kind of interior rim protection?
We're letting too many that three-point line, really scoring wherever they want to. So right now, we're not buying into the system. We're not executing it the right way, so there's no protection, right? So people are getting whatever they want to.
Does it magnify your, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but does it magnify your disappointment that this is coming with a team filled with seniors, older guys who are playing the bulk of the minutes?
No. I'd be just disappointed if freshmen were doing the same exact thing, right? Probably more mad at myself that I've allowed us to do this.
This late in the year, how do you kind of evoke that buy-in? You're, about a month until postseason play starts.
There won't be postseason play if we don't start guarding people.
Even with the Big Ten tournament, though, right? Like, you guys had an identity, it seemed like, last year going into it, and that doesn't seem to be as apparent this time around. So do you, is there something you can say? You mentioned the self-reflection. You blame yourself some, too. Is there anything that you have planned that you think can sort of evoke any of that?
We're going to it's like sticking your finger in the wall, stop the water, and water starts coming out from somewhere else, right? We got to get it figured out. We got to get it figured out pretty quickly, and we got to build off that right now. Like, fixing this can't affect something else, and now something else becomes a problem or an issue.
Just given the point in the season that you're at, what's the balance between, I don't want to call it overreaction, but panicking, how do you address this? Not just defensively, but just this moment in the season.
Yeah. At some point in time, right, it's got to kick in that, this is it. Here next year, right? Some of you guys don't get an opportunity. You're not going to be here. Season's over. It ends. Careers are over. I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna be here. Like I got a lot more years left, so I'm gonna get a chance to coach again. I'm gonna get a chance to try and accomplish what we want to accomplish. I'm gonna get to do it next. Whatever. It's this or nothing. It's this or becoming an accountant. It's this or becoming a plumber. It's this or going playing in Croatia.
And how do you balance when, maybe you have guys that aren't as skilled or aren't as able to contribute, like with shooting and things like that, and just kind of taking maybe those guys and throwing them in because you'll at least get some effort, right? Like, how do you balance maybe the veterans and the youth and then also the skill and the effort and the energy?
I think that's been a search the entire year, right? I think the really good teams right now know who they're playing. They know what they're getting from each guy, and that's, unfortunately. We got to get to here's what we need, and I can provide that on a daily basis for us to be really good.
You mentioned to Steve and Dick after the game last night that you had guys that want to be scorers. Is it a fair criticism that the scoring hasn't been there necessarily on the road either? And what solutions do you see to that end?
Yeah, and it's, we've gotten, you look at it again, we get production from three guys on the road, and Funk hasn't shot it great, but he's still providing you with other things. And I thought Seth was playing at a high level and Pickett's been doing it. And now it's just, what are you getting from other guys? And if we can, each night it might be somebody different, but you need a fourth guy to step up. You need a fifth guy to step up, and they don't have to. They got to do it in their own way. They got to play off those other guys. Just to help them, just to balance different things.
To that end, what progress did you see from Keba yesterday? Did you feel like that was a step in the right direction for him?
Yeah, I thought he played extremely hard. And, it was great to see from him that, his effort on the offensive boards, his effort around the basket defensively, keeping the basketball alive, getting offensive rebounds. It was a great step to see for him. And, he hasn't let anything affect him this year. He's come with the same attitude each and every day. And, kind of the time he started to put even more work into his game, now he's starting to see the results, right? That probably drives him to do even more, to get in the gym even more and continue to work and continue to get better.
With Keba, do you think that moving him into that bench role has helped him at all? And how did he kind of handle that? Because he'd been starting for, most of the season.
Yeah, there's no, he handles it great, right? He's a I'm going to do whatever you guys need kind of guy. And whether it starts, whether it's he's about the success of our team and our group, and that's why you enjoy having guys like him around. I forget what the first part of your question was. I'm sorry.
It's just, going to that and handling that bench role.
Yeah, he's been fine, and it could change based on who we're playing. I think that's the one thing about our group is they just got to know, here's what the team needs. Here's what the team needs. It's not about me. This is what the team needs, and I'm going to provide that. Whether I need to start, whether I need to come off the bench, or I need to shoot a bunch, or not shoot at all, I'm going to do whatever the team needs for us to have success.
Does Evan where is he in that process developing?
He's not guarding anybody.
This is the most, I don't want to speak for how you're feeling, but sort of most dejected we've seen you, maybe frustrated is a better term for it. What are you feeling right now, right? And what's the feeling in the locker room in general?
I'm just ready to get to practice, right? The one thing about me is I'm focused on what's next, and that's playing Wisconsin. We got to play as well as we can against Wisconsin here on Wednesday, and that's the goal. I got to have these guys ready to go to win it on Wednesday, and that's all I'm thinking about. Our guys, there is no do or die back against the wall, maybe. So, it's you either got to come out and do it, or you're not going to do it, right? And that's what it's coming down to, right? There's no magical rah-rah speech that's going to change things, right? at the end of the day, like, you're either going to play hard or you're not going to play hard. And we'll see what's going to get the job done.
Do you want some of that do or die mentality, that sort of maybe that, I guess, that fight, right, to come off?
Different than some other people handle things, right? I'm over the top competitive. Like I don't care. You know, I fight my mom to win. Right? That's who I am. Like, I look like a nice guy, but I'm as cutthroat as can be. Okay? Some people aren't like that. You have to do whatever it takes for you to get to that level so you can be successful. Right? That's all I want from those guys. They don't have to be me. They don't have to be me. There's not many people like me. I'm crazy.
To that end, do you like the leadership in your locker room? Does it have to come from them necessarily, as opposed to you?
Well, I think it's different, right? Each team is different. Each leader is different. They have to do it in their own way. And they also, like, at some point in time, you have to be, like, if there's something that you don't like, you got to stand up against it. All right? And if you don't, then you this is career. So, like, this is their moment as the leaders of this team, that they need to take the initiative if they want, if they want it to go whichever way they want it to go, right? They could say, like, hey, we're done. Like, it's 8 games left, conference tournament. Let's just 9 straight. Let's just mail it in and go home, right? They get that choice, right? Or they could say, man, let's go on a run right here, right? They get that choice. It's how they want to finish. It's how they want to see it.
Given how good you guys have been at home, does it offer any solace that the game on Wednesday is here at the Bryce Jordan Center instead of the Kohl Center?
I think so. Since we've never won at the Kohl Center. But no, like, getting a chance to be home now. There's no guarantees, right? We've lost here before. Wisconsin's going to be a desperate team. Spurs us and then gets us going in the right direction. How you play. Whether we're playing at home.
And Seth had to do with consistency. I from my perspective at least, I think we've seen it. Have you seen him unlock some of that consistency, and how has he done that?
Yeah, I think he's been really consistent. He's makes mistakes, he's making up for them with effort, right? So it doesn't stand out. I think that's the one thing, and he's done that in the past. But I think offensively he's been really consistent with how he's played. He's keeping the game simple. He's taking open shots. He's attacking the rim. He's playing off 2 feet. He's not really turning the ball over a lot. Like, he knows how he should attack, and he's doing it, right? Like, what he's doing right now is he's putting a lot of work into outside of practice and everything else. So he's earning this consistent play with what he's doing in practice and outside of practice.
And what you mentioned with the lack of mistakes, I think there's a sequence against Purdue where he gets blocked by Edey, and then next drive just goes right back into the lane against them. It seems like he plays with kind of a short memory almost. Is that something that's innate, that ability to, avoid mistakes but also bounce back, or is that something that you've seen him learn a little
Yeah,
bit?
he's super competitive too. He doesn't want to lose. He doesn't want to lose at all. Now sometimes that drives him to try and do too much. Right, I'll put the whole world on my back and go against anybody. But when he stays within himself, with that same attitude, like good things happen and good things are happening for him. And he does have that kind of short memory of like, yeah, move on to the next play. And I think that's been an area of growth for him.
No.
Yeah, I'm about confidence and shooting the right shot. All right, if it's the right shot for you and it's the right shot for our team, take it. And he's got to continue to stay confident. He's got to put in more work. That's what the best guys do when they're struggling. Like they fall back on their work and they trust their work and what they're doing. So I think that'll help him. But just seeing one fall maybe for him just gets his confidence back to where it needs it to be.